The rupee has hit an all-time low. It has crossed 81.50 per dollar. This is the news just coming in. It's hit an all-time low as major currencies have cracked against the dollar. It's hit a low against the dollar, plunging well past 81.50 as the greenback rose sharply to multi-year highs against most major currencies on fears of a global recession from the rising borrowing rates worldwide. For more clarity on the matter, we have my colleague Priyanshi Sharma joining us on the phone line. Priyanshi, what has caused this sudden record low?
Parmeshwar, we were expecting this after the US Fed announced a 75 basis point rate hike for the third straight month, and ever since that happened last week, markets have been crashing and rupee has been hitting new lows. Today is the third straight session that the rupee has hit a record low, and currently, if I get to the rate, rupee is trading at around 81.54 per dollar, and it has weakened by 55 paise. So our currency has lost 55 paise just today in just less than an hour of trading. So, and it's not just the rupee that's facing this. In fact, global currencies are weakening against the dollar. The pound, for example, slumped to an all-time low against the dollar, and now a dollar equals 1.03 pounds. So that just goes on to show that it's not just the rupee, but global currencies that are weakening against the dollar because the global economy is fearing a recession after the US announced a Fed rate hike. Now, why is that happening? That's because whenever central banks across countries announce interest rate hikes, that leads to recession fears because it makes borrowing in the economy more expensive, as of course interest rates in the banks rises. So whenever borrowing is made more expensive, that creates risk for demand, and demand, of course, creates risk for the global economic growth. So that's why investors are fearing a global recession. Remember, the U.S. business activity also contracted for the third straight month in September, and all of these reasons combined are creating recession fears, are raising the recession fears that were already existent after the Ukraine war started. And if we also tell you how the markets are performing, the markets have lost over 1.2% this morning. Sensex is down by over 850 points, while Nifty is down over 280 points. The market's also reflecting the poor sentiment after the Fed rate hike. And another point to note here is that the Indian Reserve Bank will come out with their interest rate hike late this week on Friday. If it is a 50 basis point rate hike, then that will also increase these recession fears. That will also increase the uncertainty in the economy. But if it's around a 25 basis point hike, then that will be somewhat on expected lines. So a 50 basis point hike could mean that the Reserve Bank still thinks that the worst for inflation is not over yet. So that decision is also awaited. But for now, the rupee is slumping, markets are also slumping, and all of that is set to continue for today and for a few more coming sessions because of the fear of global recession and the fear of more interest rate hikes across countries.
Right, Priyanshi, thank you so much for joining us with that update.